Welcome to Hell, or in this case, Burma. I have been really looking forward to this review. Most people will tell you out of the 4 currently released Rambo films, nothing will top the original. Those people, I agree with. However, I would add that it does not stop this Rambo film from being my favourite of the 4. I think it's brilliant. Rambo 4, simply titled Rambo, brings back some of the heart and emotion that First Blood gave us, and with it, cranks up the kill count and gore by more than a few notches. This one isn't for the faint of heart. It's bloody, visceral, you'll see gore like you've never seen before in this series, and you will not go away disappointed. It's got exactly what I wanted in a Rambo sequel. I have seen this movie countless times more than any of the other 3, and considering this one came out 20 years on from the 3rd film, that's quite impressive since I've rewatched all of these films a lot over the years. So where do we find Rambo now, all these years later? Hiding away from the world, Rambo was now in Thailand as we see him catching snakes, fishing with a bow and arrow, and just quietly going about helping those around him. Brian Tyler's rendition of the Rambo theme is a touch of pure genius. It perfectly personifies the character, and when listening to it, you can't help but feel a shiver up your spine. Now, as Rambo is putting the snakes away, he is greeted by Paul Schulz's Michael Burnett, the head from a group of aid workers. He asks Rambo to take them upriver so that they can deliver supplies to those in need. What you need to be aware of, however, is that where Rambo is located and currently goes about his life is just enough away from the war zone that is Burma. The horrific acts of terror and genocide happening in there are difficult to even comprehend. It's sick, disgusting, and the sadistic lieutenant in charge of all of this, along with his endless supply of Burmese soldiers, wreak havoc wherever they want. You don't know the leader's name, but you detest the bastard to the core by watching what he is doing, and the film does a terrific job making us hate him. Rambo turns down the offer, however. Without weapons, they wouldn't change anything. At least that was his standpoint. It's fair, and he kind of proves himself right later on, but it was only because of Sarah, played wonderfully by Julie Benz, that Rambo decided to accept. Perhaps it was because her words cut deep, or perhaps it was because she was genuinely a good person, and was, to the best of her ability, trying to help. In either case, he was there now, and once the trip began, the film does not hang around, as at the 20-minute mark, we are treated to quite possibly the single best Rambo scene ever. It is my favourite anyway, easy, and for multiple reasons. Aside from it being just totally badass and proving to us again at what he can do, it's such a smart scene you might not even realise it. Okay, so there are subtitles when the Burmese pirates are talking with Rambo, right? But watch it back. The subtitles stop once Rambo stops listening to them. It's only when he realises he has no other option but to kill them, he starts planning how he's gonna take them out. It's just so well done. Now, I have to interject this here because, Michael, just shut the fuck up. There are 2 people that don't include the Burmese lieutenant who I could not stand in a good way throughout this film. Michael is one of those people. He's utterly deluded. Firstly, after Rambo helps them, he tries to get everyone, including Sarah, to ignore him, doesn't appreciate the fact that Rambo didn't take any of his money either. Then, after Rambo saves Sarah, shouts and screams nonsense in Rambo's face. Oh, you're gonna report him, are you? Ho ho, fuck off, you uptight tosser, and you'd be dead if it wasn't for him. Go for it, see where reporting him gets you. Christ, he wouldn't know common sense if it punched him in the face. Of course, things then went sour. After successfully aiding that little village, the upbeat feeling didn't last long. The Burmese military desolated the entire place. Most of the aid workers were murdered in one horrific way or another, along with the men, women and children who resided there. They never even stood a chance, did they? And once word reached back to Rambo that Sarah and the group were captured, he was to escort a group of mercenaries to the same point where he dropped them off. Enter my most hated character in the film in Lewis, played by Graham McTavish. son of a bitch just oozes arrogance, moaning, complaining, thinking he's so much better than everyone else around him. Oh, soz, Mr. Tough Guy. He tries to get Rambo to bite. Unbeknownst to him, the boatman is the most badass of them all and could easily take him with his little pinky finger. Such a prick. Oh, the look of surprise on his face is priceless when Rambo shows him up to annihilate those soldiers. Yeah, don't fucking mess with him, mate, so shut up, get in line, and listen to his orders. With the help of the local rebels, the group infiltrated the camp where Sarah and the others were being held. Cut it hella close and getting them all out, Rambo only extracted Sarah safely thanks to Schoolboy staying behind. He is literally the only mercenary that is alright. Matthew Marsden is likeable, and him sniping heads off here and there is brutally graphic. So, those alive were freed from captivity, but traversing the jungle in the dark and with no time to spare wasn't going to be easy. As soon as first light hit, our sadistic lieutenant and his dogs, with actual dogs, would be right on their tail. But our favourite warrior had an ace up his sleeve. Remember that rogue World War II bomb left behind in the jungle? Oh, did he have an idea for that? Falling right into his trap, Rambo wiped out more than a few platoons with that thing, along with a large section of the forest. Just about got away from the blast zone in time, but he went from one battle straight into another. Now, this is what I'm talking about. That final section, wow, what a body count there. We probably had more kills in those 5 minutes with that mounted machine gun than the total kills throughout all of the Rambo films thus far. He mowed down any soldier that moved, taking off limbs, blowing huge holes into his enemies, and he did not stop until there was one left. This last one, that mounted machine gun was far too good for him. No, for this person, something a little more personal would be required. My overall verdict for Rambo is a 9 out of 10. I think it is that good, I really do. It is my favourite entry of the Rambo series, and it scores the same as I gave First Blood, which is an impressive feat. I think First Blood just and so edges this one overall, but as far as the action goes, this gives you exactly what you are looking for, and it is easily an improvement over the second and more so the third film. It just ticks so many boxes. I wish we could have seen Richard Crenna's Troutman make an appearance, but sadly he is no longer with us. But we did get that memory flashback section where we see and hear him ever so briefly. I have an interesting little snippet for you. During that dream section with him reliving his past events, check out one of the very last memories. You actually see it's Rambo pulling the trigger from the gun Troutman was holding on himself. That's from the originally altered ending of First Blood, and I never noticed that until this rewatch. The music again is stunning, and it deserves another mention. Every theme, whether it's Brian Tyler's rendition or not, each one is spectacular and only serves to add more depth to what's happening on screen. All of our characters too are very well written. You don't even need to know some of their names. I had to look half of them up, but that's the beauty of it. You get so immersed and into it watching, it doesn't matter. Rambo shunting not one but both of my hated characters down a peg was hella pleasing. Seriously, Lewis was a prick and Michael was deluded, so they both needed knocking down a peg or two. McTavish, to his credit though, played that arrogant I'm better than you role like only he could. So as much as I disliked his character, go and pat yourself on the back. Job well done. So what was your favourite scene? Was it this one, the first one, which was mine, where he takes out all of those pirates on that boat? What about his emphatic entrance, bow and arrow style? There was the ripping of that dude's voice box out as well, that one was quite bloody. Or the peekaboo you're dead decapitation before he continued to eviscerate those Burmese soldiers. Then again, it could be when he guts that lieutenant. See, there's just so many standout moments here. Stallone once again deserves a ton of credit. Aside from starring in the film, he didn't just write, but he also helped direct as well. Is there any part of the production where he doesn't want to help out? Huge props to the guy. He deserves all the praise in the world, not just for helping the story of Rambo evolve, but also for bringing some heart back to this franchise. The second and third films lacked a little bit of that. They were never bad, they just had that little something missing. Here though, that DNA returns, and in a highly entertaining chapter. And, as we recently found out, it isn't going to be the final chapter. Rambo Last Blood, I think it was going to be called years ago, never came to fruition. But right now, Stallone's readying himself for the final tale of Rambo's story. This would have served as a fitting conclusion as he walked back to the Rambo farm, but now we've found out Rambo is reloading and going back to war one last time. How would you like to see it end? Me, I just hope that he doesn't die and that he does get to walk off quietly into the sunset. How about you? So what did you all think of 2008's Rambo? Do you rank it as highly as I do? And which, because there were so many badass moments from the film, is your favourite one? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the review. And I'll see you on the next one.
Live for nothing. Or die for something. Your call.